Hey, JK friends. The last story I wanted to share with you this week is called The Surprise Garden, and it really goes in line with all of our vegetable talk that we've been doing this week. And I wanted to encourage you, if you haven't gotten a chance to, check in with Mrs. Tharp's Google Classroom. She's doing a lot of things with planting and gardening, and it would be really fun to follow some of her videos and her progress in her own garden this week. If we were at school right now, we had planned with Mrs. Tharp to plant some leafy greens, some lettuces, different types of lettuce. And we could plant them way back when it was cooler, earlier in March. And the idea was we were going to plant them and get to watch them grow, and then we were going to harvest them and actually get to taste them and try them and eat them. And we were going to share them, a lot of the leafy greens, with our moms at our Mother's Day tea. So I would really encourage you, even though we can't do that together, you guys might have gardens growing at home. Or I know that the Waldrons, Grace and her family, are starting a container garden, and they're starting to work on it from seeds inside their house. And when it gets nice and warm and we know there's not going to be any more frost or cold, they'll move it outside and continue to grow their gardens. I would encourage you to somehow watch a garden grow, whether it's your own garden at home or Mrs. Tharp's gardens in her videos. I think that would be very cool, because we were supposed to do that together as a class, because I knew that we were going to be talking about vegetables. So this is our last book for the week. It's called The Surprise Garden, and it's a super cute story by Zoe Hall. We're planting the seeds for a surprise garden. Can you guess what we will grow? Now, Mrs. Tharp is actually very specific and particular in terms of picking seeds that we grow in our school garden, and she knows when all the things that we plant will be growing so we can harvest them. And a lot of times different classes plant specific seeds that go along with what they're learning in school. So we might not necessarily plant a surprise garden at Covenant, but this is a cute story about just dumping a bunch of seeds out there and seeing what happens next. We don't know. It's a surprise. First, we use our trowel and rake to loosen the soil. Mom has given us each a handful of all kinds of seeds. Look at all the different shapes and sizes. That's a sorting activity we could do in JK, sorting seeds. Be something cool to do. We poke the seeds into the soil one by one. We have painted sticks, different colors, to mark the different kinds of seeds. Then we water the seeds and wait for our surprise garden to grow. Soon the seeds sprout into small green shoots. We water the plants and the sun warms them. Our garden grows and grows. On some plants, flowers bloom. Before long, the petals fall off. Surprise! We see peas and beans and squash. On some plants, leaf grows close to the ground. Surprise! We see spinach and lettuce. And what is growing here? Surprise! We see broccoli and cauliflower. Is anything growing here? Surprise! We find carrots and radishes. They are growing underground. So cool. Here is the longest plant in our garden. Flowers bloomed on this plant too. Surprise! We find a huge watermelon. Here is the tallest plant in our garden. Surprise! It's a sunflower, and it's full of tasty seeds. And that's something you guys are going to get to do next year with Mrs. Smith. Learn all about sunflowers. Very exciting. All summer long, the food in our surprise garden ripens. We like to pick the food and eat it too. Surprise! We are having a garden party. And these are all of their seeds and what they turned into when they grew them. Happy gardening, friends. Happy observing your gardens grow. And happy nature journaling some of the things that are growing in your garden as well. I love you so much. Hope you have a great weekend with your family.